Ada Wong, the generational toxic spy who leaves you unread and grapples away. She isn't the girl you bring home to your parents. She is the walking red flag you let ruin your life. From the PS1 days to the Resident Evil remakes, she is the sole reason half the timeline has a massive weakness for a sleek red dress. Every time a new render of her drops, the internet completely loses its mind over her flawless figure and pure, untouchable energy. She shows up, uses you for a mission, drops one sarcastic line, and dips. And the entire player base just sits there barking as she leaves, waiting for her to call them a good boy. Tifa Lockhart, the ultimate childhood crush who literally crashed a government meeting. For an entire generation of gamers, Tifa was the original awakening. I mean, between her insane hand-to-hand combat skills and, let's be real, those massive jugs, the internet never stood a chance. Every time Square Enix updates her character model, Twitter literally breaks in half, just debating her proportions. When the Final Fantasy VII Remake dropped, the timeline completely short-circuited. She broke the internet so hard that a video of her accidentally got projected onto a literal Zoom meeting of the Italian Senate. You know you're an absolute menace when you interrupt a government broadcast just by existing. Bo Hancock, the pirate empress who weaponized the fact that everyone is completely down bad for her. Before the mommy trope even existed, Boa was writing the literal blueprint. Her towering, flawless figure completely dominates the One Piece world, and the internet practically worships her every time a new cosplay drops. Her entire power is that if you are attracted to her, she turns you to stone. She doesn't even have to fight. She just hits you with the most arrogant pose in anime history, looking down on you like absolute trash, and you defeat yourself. She owned the anime community long before Twitter was even a thing. Chun-Li, the fighter whose Street Fighter VI physics completely melted the internet. Chun-Li has always been fighting game royalty and the original blueprint for female characters. But when that SF6 trailer dropped, the timeline stood still. Capcom updated her animations, gave those legendary thick thighs the absolute maximum physics treatment, and the fighting game community lost its collective mind. Millions of fans were literally watching her in-game idle animations on loop. Capcom knew exactly what they were doing to us, and it worked flawlessly. 2B, the android who single-handedly flooded the timeline with fan art. With that gothic Lolita aesthetic, the blindfold, and a figure that literally defies gravity, the internet was completely obsessed from day one. When Nier Automata launched, the timeline didn't just break, it became a 2B thirst trap factory. Her in-game run cycle alone spawned a million viral clips. It got so out of control that the game's director, Yoko Taro, publicly asked fans to stop making him search for the spicy art on Twitter and just zip it all into one folder and send it directly to him. Even years later, she still casually puts the internet in a chokehold the second a new cosplay drops. Bayonetta, the witch who outswaggered every male protagonist by putting literal guns on her stilettos. She isn't just a character, she is an entire flex. With her ridiculous proportions and an outfit literally made of her own hair, the internet loves a protagonist who knows exactly how good she looks. Bayonetta broke the timeline by proving that being absolutely ridiculous, campy, and ruthless is the ultimate power move. She will drop into the most gravity-defying, leg-spreading pose right in the middle of a massive fight, rip a demon out of another dimension using her hair, step on it, and then complain that it ruined her manicure. Makima, the ultimate walking red flag who had the entire timeline barking like actual dogs. Long before the anime even dropped, manga readers were completely trapped in her cult. With her deceptive corporate office lady aesthetic and those unnerving eyes, she completely dominated the cosplay scene before she even made it to the screen. She's the undisputed control freak. Millions of fans looked at the most manipulative villain in history and said, "Yeah, I can fix her." Spoiler alert, they couldn't. She ruined them, put them on a leash, and they thanked her for it. Mita, the digital stalker who literally dragged the timeline into her own game. She starts out looking like a cute virtual pet with massive anime eyes, but the second you try to leave, the yandere switch flips. The contrast between her sweet design and pure horror had the internet making endless fan edits overnight. She hits you with that lethal obsession, physically pulling you through the screen because you are never logging off again. And if you try to escape, she just traps you inside a cartridge forever. The internet took one look at a terrifying girl who kidnaps you and immediately said, "Where do I sign up?" Lady Dimitrescu, the 9-foot final boss that forced Capcom to tweet out her official measurements. With her elegant gothic aesthetic combined with that towering massive figure, the internet completely rewrote what a survival horror villain should be. When Resident Evil Village dropped, Capcom thought they were making a terrifying game. Instead, they woke up an entire army of gamers aggressively begging to get stepped on by a vampire aristocrat. People were so absolutely feral and down bad that Capcom had to formally announce exactly how tall she was, just to calm the internet down. She didn't just break the timeline, she completely crushed it under a size 20 heel. Comment below more characters you would like to see in future videos, and subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks for watching.